Welcome everyone to today's practice, Yin Yoga. Yin Yoga is about calming, cooling. It's about working with the cold tissues of the body as fascia. And it's about the yin energy, so the female energy. By female energy, we can relate this to many aspects. We can relate it to the element of water. We can relate it to the emotions. We can relate it to a more passive state, and so on. So I would invite you to use this practice as not only as a way to relax and recharge, but also as a way to go deeply inwards, to feel your body, to feel your breath, and to connect to your emotions. Today we're going to be working with a hip opening sequence. So we store a lot of emotions and sometimes some traumas on the hips, on the hip area, and that's why it's also such a powerful practice to open and connect to this area of the body. So please have with you 2 pillows, more or less like this, or maybe some blankets, towels, and 2 blocks to start the practice together. So first we start with a short pranayama exercise to start to connect with the breath, with the body, and start to cool down the system for the practice. So we can either start sitting down or laying on your back. Especially if you feel like you need a little bit more grounding for this practice today, I would advise maybe you can lay on your back. So feel free to find your position. I'm going to demonstrate sitting down. If you're sitting, maybe using a block or a blanket to elevate your hips. This is going to give you much more ease on your seated posture. So finding a place, finding a position for your legs. It can be easy crossed leg or just one heel in front of the other. And slowly closing the eyes. Rooting down through the sitting bones. Lengthening the spine from the sacrum, from the base of your spine all the way to the crown of the head and extending to the sky. And relax your shoulders down to the floor. Long back of the neck. Bring your chin slightly down and slightly back towards your throat. Play a little bit with this alignment of your spine and your neck. Small little movements to find this perfect stackment of your vertebrae. Once you already relaxed your upper body, shift your attention to your lower body. Relaxing the groins, relaxing your knees, and letting your feet sink down to the ground. Connecting your roots to the floor all the way to the center of the earth. At the same time as you lengthen your spine in the crown of the head up to the sky. Feel the support of the earth and the connection to your higher self. Bring your hands together into Anjali Mudra. in front of your heart center. We start the practice in chanting pranava Om 3 times. First time it's a normal Om, second time it's a hum. Third time it's a silent Om. So let's exhale together to coordinate the breath. Big breath in for the first Om. Breathing in for hum. And last breath in, preparing for silent Om. Breathing in. And chant the mantra on your mind as you exhale. Slowly release your hands back to your thighs. Palms facing up if you're feeling more receptive today for this practice, or maybe palms facing down for a little bit more grounding and connection. Becoming the observer of your breath. Letting go of any control of the breath. Allowing yourself a moment to drop into the space where you are and drop into the body. Purnata, passive breathing. Notice where your breath is located. Maybe you're breathing through your chest. Maybe you're breathing more through the sides, on the floating ribs. Or maybe you're breathing a little bit more through your belly. Just notice where your breath is. Softening the body with each exhalation. Bringing the sense of surrender. Bring your hands to your belly and start to feel the movement of the belly as you breathe in and out. Both hands to the belly. If you're laying down, you should be feeling all points of contact of your body and your back body with the floor. Same intention of releasing tension and surrendering. Attention to your belly breathing and start to enhance this belly breathing. So bringing all the air down to the belly with the inhalation, expanding. And shrinking the belly, navel to spine as you exhale. Feeling the belly with the breath in. Navel to the spine with the breath out. Few more breaths here, just sensing, practicing presence. Make sure you can keep your shoulders relaxed. Slowly bring your hands to your side ribs, to the floating ribs. And together with the hands, you bring your breath to this area. Expand the ribs to the sides with the inhalation. And draw the ribs in with the exhalation. Practice. Breathing through the sides and the middle part of your torso. Few more breaths. Bringing your hands to your chest. Coming into a thoracic breathing. So breathing through the chest, filling the lungs with the breath in. And exhale. Empty the lungs. Chest coming back down in. Breathing here through your chest and just noticing and observing. Maybe if you pay attention, you can feel how energizing it is to be breathing through the chest. Bringing all the air to this area. Stay here for a couple of breaths, feeling the sensations on your thoracic area. Yogic breathing, so we're separating the breath through different parts of the body, 3 different parts. Belly, ribs, and chest. Big breath in through the chest. And as you breathe out, slowly slide the hands back to your belly. We're going to do a few rounds of Viloma Pranayama, which consists pretty much on what we have been practicing just now. So we're going to break the inhalation in 3 parts, belly, ribs, and chest. And we're going to exhale fully, sliding the hands back down to the belly. So just a full, complete exhalation to the count of 8. I invite you to use your hands onto each part of the body as we move with the pranayama. So let's do it together. Starting with the hands on your belly. We're going to work with sips of air, around 2 seconds on each part. I'll guide you through. Hands on your belly, feeling the belly breathing. Taking a full breath in through the nostrils and a full breath out to prepare. Breathing in through the belly, just a sip of air for 1, 2. Breathing through the ribs for 1, 2. Breathing in through the chest for 1, 2. Breathing out, sliding the hands for 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. In through the belly, 1, 2. Breathing through the ribs, 1, 2. Through the chest, 1, 2. And slowly exhale, 8. Inhaling, belly. Hands to the ribs, breathing in. Chest. And breathing out. 4, 3, 2, 1. Hand to the belly, this time 1 full breath in. And breath out. 2 more like this. Breathing in through the belly. And breathing out. Again, inhalation. And exhale to prepare for the second round. Breathing out. And breathing in. Belly, 1, 2. Ribs, 1, 2. Chest, 1, 2. Out for 8. 3, 2, 1. In through the belly. In through the ribs. Through the chest. Slow exhalation. 3, 2, 1. Last one. Breathing in, belly. Side ribs. In through the chest. 1, 2. And breathing out. 3, 2, 1. Hands on the belly, full breath in. And breathe out, fully empty. 2 more, breathing in. And slowly breathing out. Release your hands back to your thighs. Going back to Purnata, passive breathing. Observation. Notice the differences from before the pranayama and after, if there are any differences. Paying attention to the length of the inhalations and exhalations. And getting more and more comfortable in your body as we move the prana throughout the entire body, balancing the energies. cultivating mindfulness and presence to whatever is arising. I like to picture my body or my inner body as a water flow. So sometimes I like to visualize that energy moving through the body just like a flow of water, moving through each and every part of my body and connecting to this element. Invitation to look a little bit deeper, to feel a little bit deeper, and to reach our emotions. Bring your hands to touch in front of you, scrubbing the hands, creating some heat. And placing the hands in front of the eyes without touching the skin, but very, very close. Feeling those subtle energies as the heat that comes out of your hands and into your eyes. Starting to blink the eyes open, letting the light come in slowly, and release the hand back to your thighs. Preparing the body to move with mindfulness. We move into our first posture of the practice. So lean forward onto your hands. Remove your prop to the side. Come to your knees and walk to the back of your mat. Sit on your heels to adjust your props. Please be mindful that you can use as many props as you want. The most important thing is that your body feels totally comfortable in this practice. So if you want a little bit more ease on the knees, maybe you can place one pillow under the knees. And also, if it's a little bit uncomfortable for you to sit on the heels, you can also place a second pillow between the back of your thighs and your calves. Especially if you have tight hamstrings and your buttocks don't quite reach the heels, feel free to use this. Maybe it might be helpful. Fingertips onto the floor. Bring your toes to touch and your knees wide, more or less almost as wide as the mat. Hands to the floor. Inhale to lengthen through the spine. And as you exhale, start to walk with the hands forward, bringing your forehead to the ground. Allowing the weight of the hips to fall down towards the heels. And make yourself comfortable, maybe doing some small adjustments to settle the body, to accommodate your body in this position. Feel free to also use a block to support your forehead in any height you prefer. Especially if you have your head far from the floor. So many options here. Letting go of the shoulders towards the floor. Relaxing all the length of the arms from shoulders to wrists and to tip of the fingers.
feeling the pressure of your forehead with the ground or with your block. Allow the weight of the head to sink down. This point of connection with the forehead is a very special point to activate the resting state of the body. So we're telling the body it's time to relax and cool down. Connecting with the breathing. We're going to try to keep our belly breathing throughout the whole practice, invoking this cooling of the energy. On your next inhalation, using a little bit of activation of the arms, raise your head and your chest. Remove the block to the front if you have a block with you. And slowly looking to your hands, start to walk on the tip of your fingers all the way to your right side. Putting your right hand down, your left hand on top. And working with your forehead towards the floor. It doesn't have to reach the floor, but just intention. We're doing a little bit of a side stretch, lengthening the left side of the body. And try to see if maybe you can intentionally work with your left shoulder a little bit closer to the floor, intensifying the stretch on the left side of the body. Always checking in with your body if there is anything that needs to be adjusted. But also trying to come into this mindful space of observation of the things that maybe are bothering you. Usually those things come from our minds. So just an invitation to observe. On your next inhalation, raising the head, raising the chest, looking to the hands, come to the tip of your fingers, and mindfully walking with the hands all the way to the left. Left hand down, right hand on top, forehead towards the floor. Feeling the breath on the right side of the body, expanding the right ribs as you inhale. And shrinking it as you exhale. Right shoulder moves slightly towards the floor, intensifying the stretch a little bit more. and sink your buttocks towards your heels. Simply letting gravity work throughout your whole body. On your next inhale, look back to the hands, come to the tip of the fingers, and come back to the center. Walk with your hands towards you, so you're sitting back on your heels, and we're preparing for a little bit of work for the shoulders here. So we're using this foundation with the legs, but we're threading the needle with our arms. So we're going to do that both together. So first, move your left hand slightly forward and thread the needle with the right arm under. So the right palm is facing up. Maybe you're going to need to move a little bit forward if you have a pillow. So you have your knees on the edge of that pillow or that blanket. So threading the needle with the right arm, doing the same with the left arm here. So just noticing what's possible for your body depending on the opening of your back body, of your upper back. So maybe this is where you stay. Maybe you go a little bit further, but allow the weight of the chest to fall down to the floor, and you can even bring the forehead to the floor. If your head doesn't quite reach the floor, feel free to have a block in front of you. So try a little bit to see what is the most comfortable position for you. So maybe you're going to have a block on the middle height, on the low height. Just give it a try and see what it is for you today. Both palms are facing up. And with each inhalation, feel the breath on the back of your body, on your upper back. You should feel the opening of the space between the shoulder blades as you bring the air in. And as you breathe out, feel your chest sinking down and stretching your shoulders a little bit more. Make sure you have shoulders away from the ears as much as possible so you can keep them relaxed, so we're not crunching the shoulders up. On your next inhalation, raising the head, raising the chest, slowly bringing the arms back to center. And we're changing the crossing of the arms. So the right hand forward onto the floor, threading the needle this time first with the left arm and then with the right arm. Observe the difference between the two sides. They are usually different. So notice what adjustments you need to do on that side to be able to find comfort. Check in with your legs, especially with your knees, if everything is okay. If you feel any strain on the legs, on the knees, please come back to a seated position with your legs crossed and folding forward. Otherwise, we stay here for a few more breaths. Inhale to bring the shoulder blades away from each other. And exhale to sink the chest down towards the arms. Allowing the shoulders to relax. And on your next inhalation, slowly lifting the torso, raising the torso, and bringing your hands in front of you. Remove your props, remove your pillows to the sides, and come to the center of your mat. Legs to the side. And we're going to work with dragonfly posture. So feel free to adjust things for this position. So first of all, maybe sitting on the edge of a pillow, and just choosing the height of your pillow. Maybe you can fold it twice, just whatever you prefer, depending on the possibilities for your hamstrings. Opening the legs to the sides into a dragonfly posture. And here we're thinking about not going too far out on the stretch. We want to find some comfort, but we don't want to push so much. So there's a very slight activation of the toes pointing towards you, and very little lifting of the kneecaps just to protect the knee joint. If you feel your hamstrings are way too tight, maybe opening closing the legs a little bit more. Or also you have an option to place something, maybe your pillow or maybe rolling a towel, under the knees. I'm going to demonstrate with one, and you can do that with your props, but you can have one on each knee like this. Find your block close to you, just leave it close by. We're going to start by finding this position on the center. So grounding the sitting bones, lengthening through the spine, hands to the floor, maybe fingertips. Breathing here for a few moments, feeling into the hips, feeling each activation of the legs. And slowly with the exhalation, if it's possible for your body, maybe you're coming a little bit closer to the floor. Maybe finding your elbows touching the floor. Just finding your variation for this posture.
You should be feeling a stretch on the hamstrings, on the adductor muscles, opening the hips. Option to grab your block, put it on the highest height, and place your forehead onto your block, allowing your upper body to relax through this point of contact of the forehead with the block. Remember that if you don't reach one block, feel free to use two. It's all about adjusting. So maybe this is where you stay today. Most important thing is that you find ease. Still having the intention of deepening the posture, but also observing what are the limits of this asana practice. Relax the head, slightly relax the feet, constantly checking in with your knees if they're doing okay. Allow yourself to enjoy this exploration of your body. Whenever you can cultivate being present with everything that is arising, there can be lots of things going on inside. Even when the outside looks very calm, usual. Next inhalation, walking with your hands back towards the body. We're moving into a lateral dragonfly. So take one of your blocks to your right side. And here you're going to also choose the best positioning. For you, we're keeping the legs as they are, maybe adjusting if you feel like you need to. And we're coming to a side position. So bring that block close to your right leg, bringing the right elbow to the block and resting the head on that block. You have many options with the left arm. You can just rest that arm on top of the left thigh. Or if you want to intensify the stretch a little bit more, you can bend that elbow on top of the head, almost on top of the head. So you're finding a position that suits your body. Doesn't have to be exactly like I'm doing, because each body type is different. But mainly you want to find a place to support your forearm, your left forearm. You should be feeling the stretch all the way on the left side of the body, opening the sides at the same time as we're opening the ribs. Try to point your sternum, your heart center, to the front, so we're not bringing the chest so much towards the right leg. We're pointing the heart center to the front of your mat.
Release the weight of the head to your right hand and relax the right shoulder. Maybe close your eyes. Feeling the breathing movements on the left side of the body. On your next inhale, bringing your left hand down to the body and coming up. We're neutralizing before moving towards the other side. In this practice, it's very important to neutralize. So come back to center, big breath in. And as you exhale, finding your expression of the posture. And notice, because things might have changed. It might be that you can go a little bit further down. So just allowing the body to fold forward. Resting the forehead on your block. Noticing the sensations on the hips. Making the legs as effortless as possible, but they are still active. Slightly. We're not looking for activation of muscles so much in this practice. On your next inhale, come back to center. And accommodate yourself to the other side. Block to the left. Finding your position. Left elbow onto the block. Head on the left hand. Choosing your variation with the right arm. Right hand on the thigh, or maybe over the head. Remember to relax the shoulders, especially the left shoulder. There's no need for so much strength as we have the structure of the body supporting the asana. So you're feeling the support of the head through your forearm, through the stackment of the wrist with the elbow, left wrist and left elbow. Finding softness through the breath. Opening the right side body. Grounding both sitting bones down to the floor. So if you feel like your right sitting bone is coming off, maybe you need to bring your elbow a little bit closer to your body. On the next inhalation, right hand back to the thigh, pressing with the left elbow to come up. Using your hands to support your legs, so hands to the back of the knees, slowly bringing the feet back to the floor.
Transitioning to a tabletop position. Hands to the floor. Spread your fingers, your knees are under your hips. And stepping the right foot outside of the right arm here. So we're finding a stretch on the left psoas, on the left hip flexor. Maybe you're going to walk with your hands a little bit forward or just walking with the knee a little bit back. Just try and see. Feel free to place a pillow on your back knee. If you feel like the surface is too hard, make yourself comfortable. Also, if maybe this is already quite a challenge for you, feel free to have your blocks with you. So maybe placing them on the lowest or middle or highest height to give yourself some space to sink the buttocks down, allowing gravity to work on your hips and stretch. With your back toes, they can be untucked or they can also be tucked. I would say maybe untuck the toes to bring a little bit more relaxation to this part of the body too. Small adjustments to find comfort. Shoulders away from the ears, long back of the neck, chin slightly towards the chest and back. Feeling all three corners of the right foot pressing down, but you're opening that right knee slightly to the right side, intensifying the stretch on your inner thighs a little bit more. Maybe check on the next exhalation if there is a possibility to come a little bit closer to the floor. Maybe some of you are going to even bring the forearms all the way down. Still working with that right knee out, but keeping the entire sole of the right foot touching the floor. Observe what's happening on the left hip. Trying to make the posture as effortless as possible. On your next inhalation, bring your hands to the floor if they're not already there. And slowly bringing your buttocks back and bringing the right leg back into a tabletop position. Buttocks to your heels and come to Balasana Child's Pose just for a few breaths. Forehead to the ground. You can have your arms extended, or you can have the arms alongside the body. Hands under the shoulders. Press yourself back to a seated position. Back to tabletop, hands under the wrists, and step with the left foot on the outer edge, close to the outer edge of the left hand. Adjusting on the other side. Find the position for your hands Maybe your torso is moving forward a little bit, so you need to bring the hands a little bit more to the front. Super important to have this alignment of the joints. This makes the posture a little bit less about muscles and more about alignment of the structure of your body. Three corners of the left foot pressing down, opening the left knee to the side. Sinking the buttocks down with each exhalation, feeling the stretch on your right hip flexor. And make it as intense as you can feel joy and pleasure to be opening the body. Don't make it a suffering, but more as an enjoyment of taking care of your physical body. Go ahead and deepen into the posture a little bit more, if this is possible. Remembering both actions here. Hips down, left knee to the side. Shoulders away from the ears, long back of the neck. We start with a little bit more intense hip openings that can be challenging for the body and also for the mind as we are unlocking. We can be unlocking lots of emotions. So pay attention to whatever arises. Trying to find softness and comfort wherever you are in any situation. Next inhalation, both hands on the floor, moving your buttocks slightly back, stepping back with your knees together or slightly apart. Buttocks towards the heels, Balasana, child's pose. Take a moment to feel. Next inhalation, press yourself back into your tabletop position. Grab one of your pillows, maybe fold it in two. Just leave it close to you. We're moving into swan, which is pigeon pose. So pay attention to the modifications you need to do for this one. So we're bringing first the right knee towards the chest. And slowly, right knee towards the right wrist. And we're working towards having the right heel towards the left wrist in this case. If you don't quite reach this, because this can be challenging for a lot of people,
Feel free to bring the right foot a little bit closer to the thigh here. This is where you can use your prop, so placing this blanket under your right hip, so you can create some height on the right hip, so your hips are aligned towards the floor, so you're not collapsing into the right side like this. So finding that point, that balance. You can try to have your heel more to the front, so you have more of an angle here. If you're doing that, maybe point your toes a little bit, elevate your hips as much as necessary. You can also use blocks for this elevation. If you're having the heel a little bit more in, you can point the toes. Hands on the floor, accommodating the hips. Checking in with the positioning of your hips and checking in with your boundaries and your limits. Taking a big breath in, and as you breathe out, if possible, you can fold forward. So maybe you're finding your hands, your forearms parallel to the front of the mat. Maybe you are extending your arms to the front, resting the forehead onto the ground. Feel free to use a block depending on the distance between your head and the floor. You can use again a block to support the forehead. Whatever feels comfortable for your body. Allow the weight of the chest to fall towards the ground, relaxing shoulders. Noticing the opening that's happening on your right hip. At the same time that you're working with the left hip also down towards the floor. Try to relax the back leg, the left leg, but keep a slight pressure of the tops of the left foot onto the floor, just so you're protecting the knee, especially if you're on a little bit harder surface. Check if you can become more and more effortless. And make sure you adjust your body every now and then. If you need, feel free to do so. On your next inhale, placing the hands under the shoulders, pressing yourself back. Tucking the back toe, lifting the hips, and bringing the knees back to your tabletop position. Moving to the other side, left knee. Actually, before we move, just count neutralizing. So back to Balasana, buttocks to your heels. forehead to the ground. Inhale to come up. Bring your pillow to the other side. Left knee towards the chest. And bringing it to the front. Left knee, left wrist. Right heel, right wrist. Or maybe bringing the heel a little bit in. You can walk forward or walk back with the other leg. Positioning your prop under the left hip. Noticing the differences on both sides and how you can adjust to this. Fingertips onto the floor, working with the right hip down, squaring both hips. Big breath in. As you breathe out, fold forward. Find your block. Find the support of the hands. Maybe try to work with your right hip slightly up towards the head and down. Notice what happens. Check if you can relax the left leg a little bit more. Slight pressure on the tops of the right foot, protecting the knee joint. If you can touch your chest on the floor, this can also be very therapeutic. Just make sure you're not putting any strain on the back of the neck. Remember that you can also be on your forearms, and you can come to this position also at any time, especially if you feel strain on the shoulders. Connecting to the breath and enjoying the silence. Try to sink the hips a little bit more with each exhalation. deep breaths in and out. On your next inhalation, hands under the shoulders, coming up, tucking the back toes. Try to move very slowly and be hard on the body to move too fast. So tuck the back toes, lift the hips, bring the left knee to the floor, right knee to the floor, buttocks to heels, and come to sit on your heels. This time, we're going to do a little bit of counter posing for this, so slightly internal rotation. So bring your heels to the sides. Maybe have one of your blocks to sit on, so you're placing the block in between the feet and sitting in the middle of the legs. Work with your knees towards each other. So we're slightly internally rotating the upper thighs. Sink the buttocks, the sitting bones down. Maybe close your eyes and relax your shoulders down to the floor. Take this moment to, again, just observe. Some feelings on the hips might affect some feelings on the heart center. So observe this area of your heart center. Maybe you can even place your hand there, if this also might help you feel a little bit deeper. Next inhale, bend forward, place your hands, come up, release your block to the side, and come to lay on your back. So finding your way to transition. Maybe. And laying comfortably on your back. Extend the legs. Actually, first, maybe let's work a little bit with the shoulders. So you can stay in where you are, but just changing to lay on your chest, so supine position. I'm going to change sides for better visualization. So laying on your chest, cactus the arms, and bring your right cheek to the floor. Just a few breaths here. Bringing your right fingertips towards the floor, and use that to help you press the floor and come to lay on your right side. So your left buttocks is pointing up. You're bending the left knee and working towards bringing the left foot to the floor behind your legs. You can either do that with your leg bent, or you can also do that with your leg extended. The most important thing is that we create this twist on the abdominal area with the help of the leg, and also this opening of the right shoulder So we're working on the shoulders here, and that's why we're slightly pressing with our left fingertips. Try to make a 90-degree angle with your left arm. So there's not a lot of pressure, but it's very slightly, just to the point that we feel the stretch on the right shoulder. Also opening the heart. Feel free to bring the hips to the front slightly if you feel too much pressure on the right shoulder here. Find your best position for the legs. Few breaths. Next inhalation, left hand on the floor, bringing the left leg back to on top of the right one, and bringing the left side of the body back to the floor. Cactus the left arm, and turn to the other side, left cheek onto the mat. Stay here for a few breaths. And slowly moving towards the other side, so right fingertips on the floor, bringing your left buttocks on top of the right, raising the right leg, bending the knees or keeping it extended, but reaching with that right foot towards the floor. "90 degrees with the right arm, slightly pressing down through the tip of the fingers. Feeling the opening of the left shoulder and a slight twist on the abdominal area, very slightly, as your right buttocks works towards the ground. Not towards the ground, but towards the ground on your back. Better to understand. Next inhalation, right hand to the floor, bringing the whole body back to the floor, forehead to the ground, and breathe. And slowly finding your way to transition to lay on your back, this time for real, laying on your back. And before we move fully into Shavasana, just a quick lateral stretch. So bring your left arm 45 degrees from your head
And bring your left leg also 45 degrees. Follow with the right arm, so you're bringing the right arm and the head to reach the left arm, to reach the left hand. Same thing with the right leg. So maybe you're gonna have to bring the left arm and leg a little bit closer to the body, but cross the right foot on top of the left and press the right hand on top of the left. Side stretch, banana. Allow your body to open on the right side. A few more breaths. Inhale, come back to center, and do the same to the other side. Right arm and right leg to the side, and cross it over. Very safe and pleasurable opening of the sides of the body, supported by the ground. Next inhalation, come back to center, aligning the legs and the arms, extending the arms alongside the body, so bringing the arms down, palm of the hands facing up, coming into Shavasana. Exploring the connection of each point of contact of your body with the ground. Starting from your heels. And whenever you bring your attention to this part of your body, try and see if you can relax this part a little bit more. Toes are falling to the sides. Back of the knees relaxed. Back of the thighs. Allowing the hips to sink down. Feeling the contact of your back with the ground. Shoulders melting down. Arms and hands relaxing. Relax the head and feel the pressure between the back of your head and the floor. Softening the muscles on your face. Softening the jaw. Relaxing the thumb and the forehead. Soften your gaze. Enjoying the pleasure of living inside of this physical body that allows you to experience the joy and the pain of the material world. It's always up to us how we face this experience. But at the end, it's all about surrendering. So that's why we come to Shavasana, to practice full surrender. Bring your awareness back to your body, making some small movements with toes and fingers. Just allowing the movement to come slowly. Maybe extending the arms, extending the legs. And find a mindful way to turn to the side into an embryo position. Grabbing opposite shoulders. Pause here for a few breaths. Keeping your eyes closed or just a soft gaze, using your hands to press yourself back into your seat. Maybe grabbing your block to sit on or your prop, elevating your hips. As we come to the closing of this practice, find your seat, accommodate the body. I invite you to keep your eyes closed as I close the practice with the playing and singing of a mantra. So we offer this mantra to Hanuman, which is the monkey god. So it's the Lord of devotion. It's one of the main figures of Bhakti Yoga, devotion yoga, as a god with very selfless attitude and in service of the world. So we're honoring this devotion by chanting to him. Keep your eyes closed, make yourself comfortable on your seat. Feel free to chant together if you feel like. This mantra is called Baba Hanuman. Jai
Bajranga Bale, Jai Jai Hanuman. Sankata Mochan, Kripanidhan. Sankata Mochan, Kripanidhan. Jai Siya Ram, Jai Jai Hanuman. Jai Siya Ram, Jai Jai Hanuman. Jai Siya Ram, Jai Jai Hanuman. Jai Siya Ram, Jai Jai Take a moment to let the mantra resonate through each and every cell of your body. Honoring Hanuman and honoring our own capacity of being selfless and in service. Bring your hands together in front of your heart. Bow your chin towards your chest in gratitude towards the teachings of this practice. Tip of the thumbs to the space between the eyebrows. May we see things with clarity through our intuition. Thumbs to slightly touch the lips. May we have the capacity of use words of compassion and truth. Thumbs to your heart center. May we connect to the soul through our hearts. Namaste.